Time to fight, time to fight. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand after defeat. So fight.
Time to fry. What is going on, my beautiful people checking out my channel today? It is good to see you on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon, and new picture up above. I don't know, I keep finding these sexy mommies on Google image search when I search for Street Fighter Duel, so I don't know who these artists are. I don't even know if I should really be using their pictures, but I love this artwork. So if you search Street Fighter and hit a Google image search, you'll find these things. I think some of them come from DeviantArt, stuff like that. I don't know, I just like it. Gotta add some thirst into that video, I love the thirst pictures. What do you want? Uwu Poison Mommy, look at those abs, you could probably crush a quarter on there, I don't know. But today I'm going to be making the Team Building 101 guide. This is something I've wanted to do, but I've needed to understand the game a little bit better. So I'm going to try to not make this too long, but the first thing you want to do, you're kind of, how your team is going to go is going to be dictated by your draws. That's the first thing. So you can't really build a proper team until you're probably at least a good 100 pulls in. Open up the wish list, in the main draw screen, and you'll have 100 pulls in, and you'll have a decent selection of A-rank fighters. The first thing you got to look at in the characters is what do their skills do. Some characters are a 2-3, like Chun-Li. Some characters are a 1-2, like B. Zangief here. There's another 2-3, and then we have, other characters like Dalsum, who's a 1-3, right? So his one move's horrible, but let's not go there, not what we're talking about. But there's the 1-3. But then, the other thing you want to look at, how can I pop this up quickly? Beyond the combo skills, which I'll get back to in a second, you also have to watch out for fighter formation. The lowest I would want to go on this is four fighters from the same faction, but you ideally want to use 4 fighters from the same faction, 2 from a different faction. I know this is basic, but like everybody needs to see this, and it might not pertain information for. I'm trying to cover everything here, but you want this sort of thing. If you have an Infernal like Bison or something, yeah, you're gonna want 4 fighters plus the Infernal for the defense bonus. You're losing 5% attack, and it might not seem like a big difference losing 5% attack, or even up here 3 fighters 5% HP and 5% attack. It makes a big difference, especially when you start getting later into the game, like where I'm at right now on chapter 1727. If I lose this formation bonus, my fighters don't do half as much damage. It makes a difference for some reason. I think it's just the way this bonus is applied and stacked upon your stuff, like the math behind the scenes in the game. But you really want to focus on this. But again, that will be dictated by your pulls. You might have a wind fire team or a lightning wind team or whatever, you'll have to figure that part out yourself. But the other thing you want to pay attention to is these combos, because basically when somebody has the 2-3 combo on them, you do not want more than 2 of these guys on your team at the same time. Generally you can actually get away with 1 if you have a hard carry, like mine is. If you saw my team there, I'm using Chun-Li, B. Zangief, Elena, and Rose. And the thing is about Rose is I'm not actually using her combos all that much. It's a very rare thing for me to add her into the combo because of the combo selection I have. Your tank, B. Zangief isn't much of a tank, but I'll get into him in a second. But I'm using him as a tank because I found a cheesy thing that works with Chun-Li and B. Zangief, where he uses this move, draws everybody in, and because I've gotten Chun-Li to such a high level, her 3 move, it doesn't do that anymore. Where is it? It's in the equipment. Her move gets changed into more of an AoE, so having everybody drawn in and then having this AoE go off, it kills things. But you know, that's just the way it is for my specific playstyle with what I've been doing. But yeah, you have to watch these combos. You definitely need somebody with a strong 1 move. Elena is a key choice because her 1 move is just a heal, and on day 7 you can select a box for 1800 gems and get Elena. I would highly suggest anybody that doesn't have Elena pick Elena from that box, regardless of whatever else is in there. I think the best choice is Elena and Delson out of that box. The rest of the fighters, you know, getting an extra dupe of one of the other fighters won't do as much for you as having Elena. Because she can stay in kind of as your tag, pop in, do a heal. You know, the problem is that if the only one with a 1 move on your team is your tank, and that tank dies, your entire combo system falls apart. Like Adel has a really great 1 combo, you know, with his shield, and at later levels the shield blocks 2 hits and he gives it to all his teammates, right? It's a really good 1 combo, but if he dies towards the end of a match and you're left with 3 fighters that all have 2-3 moves, nobody's making it out alive, just with the little super move that comes out. So that's the one thing you got to be careful of, is watch your combos. You know, it's a very important thing. And player, I can't give you an idea of what the best combo in the game is or anything. You have to play around with it. You know, choose who's going to start it, and this can switch up, you know, depending on your team and who you have in and what you need your team to do. Some stages AoE, it's going to work so perfectly, but then other stages your AoE is going to suck, and you may need to switch to a more single target formation. And that's something you have to kind of adjust on the fly, and that's up to you. You know, but anyhow, going past that, you know, you want to watch where your assists are as well. You generally want your assist on a main tank. Let's not talk about B Zangief being a main tank, but you want it on your tank, and you want it on your damage dealer, your main damage dealer. And this damage dealer, you should usually choose somebody that has a good combo starter, a good super move, and then generally they're going to have a really big, you know, slap bang finish 3 move. Those are usually the main DPS. The filler in the middle is, you know, whoever you're going to use. But see, when I look at my combo, I have the choice of going with B Zangief or Elena, and then in my 2 move, again, I can use B Zangief or I can use Rose. So that's where the second 2-3 kind of comes in. You want somebody, they're kind of like your off DPS. They can even have a 1-2 move, but it's nice to have that extra 3 move just in case for whatever your DPS dies, then you can have your backup. Rose isn't really a DPS, but the point is you can have that extra person there in case your main DPS dies, and then they can still continue the 1-2-3 combo. You know, you have to take into account somebody may die, right? So it's good to have a couple of 1-2s and a couple of 2-3s, so that if somebody for whatever reason dies, because the game is RNG, you can still keep your combo going. Going on from that point, you have to choose your main damage dealer. They're highly important, and it sometimes helps to over-tune them. But the other thing that really matters in this game is having a proper tank. I don't know how many people I have seen posting teams on Discord and all these other places, and they have like Mad Ryu in the front slot. And like Mad Ryu starts killing himself as soon as he starts doing super moves and stuff. You know, he is not somebody you want to have in the front. He needs protection. You know, be Zangief, he's a balance class, right? He's not actually really a tank. He often gets his ass kicked. I have my combo that I have worked out with the twirl and the kick, and it works really well. You know, maybe personally myself, maybe I should be switching Rose with Abel and keep Beef Zangief in there, because he's an actual tank. He's a very, very good tank, and he has the stats that match it. Most tanks, the reason I'm saying the balance class, he can take some hits, but he's not really a tank because he doesn't have tank abilities. The thing he does have is a stun, which interrupts. So if I play it on manual, I can sometimes, you know, hit that RNG, stun, interrupt their combo, and it negates a lot of damage. And so he can keep going, right? But if it comes to actually taking a hit, yeah, you want a tank like Abel, because his one skill right off the bat, you know, you want the shield, you know, and gain dodge up. So he has dodge up, and he gives everybody a shield that's blocking 2 hits. You know, he has other stuff in here. You know, he's got a stun, he's got a chance to interrupt action, you know, stuff like that. I don't want to get into all the passives of Abel or some of the other tanks, but all these actual tank classes, they have something in there that will help them mitigate damage. You're gonna have to read through yourself. I'm not doing, that's not the point of this, but focus on a tank. If your tank dies, everybody's wiping. You might have the chance to fire off a couple of super, like one combo chain, but if it goes past that, you're probably dying. You want your tank almost just as leveled as your main DPS. Sometimes it makes sense to push content, to push your main DPS higher, but you know, without that tank in the way, your DPS is exposed and your supports are becoming a lot more useless. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to out heal the amount of damage that your DPS is taking. You know, the other thing you want to support, but unfortunately the game lacks a lot of supports. That's why I said get Elena on your day 7 pack for 1800 gems. And I think that day 7 thing, like, you need to get her on day 7, because if you don't pick her up right on day 7, the whole 7-day plan gets replaced with 14-day growth. So you can shoot yourself in the foot by not having the diamonds on day 7. You know, 1800 comes pretty quickly in this game, just as fast as it goes, but you definitely want to pick up that Elena. She's one of the best supports in the game, outside of, you know, having a god's chance, you know, to roll a Rose. You know, I got really lucky picking up a Rose and a Gen and a Jury, and I got Bisonov Divination. But these 3 I actually like rolled out of the, you know, that her and him came out of the draw, and she came out of one of those 60 fragment packs. Like, I hit the lottery picking up these characters. But you might not be that lucky, so your guaranteed support is going to be Elena, and she's a really, really, really great fighter. You're not going to regret picking her up. So yeah, you know, focus on the combos, you know, watch your factions, especially Elena and Mad Ryu. That's a really good combo that will be available to most players for your 2 part of your team, and then you need 4 other fighters around them. You know, 2 in assists and 2 on the main team. So you guys can figure out what works best for you, or maybe you want 4 lightning and 2 of something else. I don't know, but I can't get into all those different things. I don't want to make a 30-minute video on this, but make sure you focus on having an actual tank on your team. It will save your life. You will probably progress a little bit better, and then having Elena to actually throw some heals to your tank makes it all that much better. And then pick who you want for DPS. Dalsham is a really good main DPS. You know, Chun-Li's done well. Mad Ryu's, you know, free and easy to pick up. You know, don't be afraid to, you know, skip out on having an extra character with a 3rd move, the extra 3 combo move like Blanca. He can be really good as a secondary DPS and support as well. One of his moves, I can't remember which one it is, but he gives a shield to somebody at some point with something. I don't know what the hell he does. He gives a shield somewhere along. I don't want to get into reading it, but Blanca's really good. You know, don't sleep on Honda. He gets a projectile shield for a tank. You know, some of these other guys, they're good too. I'm just not personally using them because this is just the way my account's rolled. I've gotten a ton of Mad Ryus, I've gotten a ton of Chun-Li's, I got a lot of B Zangiefs. You know, it's just the way that the account worked out for me that I've made a wind lightning team. You know, so it'll be different for you guys, but you know, but the main thing, focus on your tank and then your DPS. But you can over level your DPS, just you might need to reset and switch it back up. Don't be afraid to experiment, you know, because resetting a character in this game is free. I'm going to wrap this up in just a second, but resetting characters is free. They do not lose rank. All that comes back is the EXP, the breakstones, and the money. They get stripped of their equipment, but it goes in your inventory too. But then you're free to use those resources as you like. So I could switch Chun-Li with B Zangief, but the problem is he's not really a tank. So I'm kind of stuck, you know, with the strategy I've been going with. I have a really bad example here of an actual team proper setup because I'm using B Zangief and he's not really a tank. He gets absolutely demolished, and then as soon as he goes down, it's like dominoes for everybody else. So I have to kind of reformulate my team, but we're only a week in, so you know, I have time to kind of fix things that are going on. But it's a glaring issue I see with my own account right now, is I'm not using a proper tank in my team, and I need to kind of switch it up. So that's it for my team building 101. I hope it's been useful. I hope it you know, gives some insight on maybe what you might be doing wrong within your own team, because I can see the holes in my own team. And number one, I'm not using a proper tank. I have Abel, but I need to bring him up higher. I need to get proper gear on him. All this sort of stuff. But he'll probably be coming into my team as a tank because I really like him. Just he's not high enough yet to kind of make the switch. And the other thing with gear is don't just like feed your gear into other gear. Start giving, you know, old gear to your other characters, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff, I'm not buying this with gems. This is just given to me in the story or from idle rewards or whatever, and then I pass the gear down along the line to my other characters that are in limit break, so that it doesn't accidentally get eaten up when I was leveling this at one point. B Zangief was using this stuff, it got leveled up a little bit, and then, you know, it got passed on, right? So, you know, pass your gear on to the lower level characters instead of just like, oh look, I can get like 1 extra level if I like feed all my gear, you know, all of this stuff. You know, don't feed everything, you know, just wait it out. This game is meant to be a little bit, you gotta wait a little bit for things, you know what I mean? So that's about it. You know, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope, again, this was useful and you maybe learned something about where your team might be going wrong. It's usually people have an issue with the tank, but maybe you've got an issue with the combo setup you have going on. Maybe you want to switch that up a little bit. I don't know, but try different things. Like the reset is free, you don't lose anything. You know, mix it up and see what happens. Even try switching up your main DPS to somebody else of the same element. You might be surprised what works for you. So I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.